A few months ago, I caught one of my dream species, my very own Samsum queen ant, and so the journey began. But before I tell you about their story, let me tell you a bit more about these ants. Their scientific name is Brachyponera sennaarensis, and what makes them special is that they can switch between multiple diets to adapt to different conditions, including carnivorous, granivorous, and extremely generalist diets. While this is already very special, it is even more so when you consider that they're ponerines. I hear you asking, what are those? To put it simply, they're a diverse subfamily of primitive ants. Here in Saudi Arabia, they're invasive. However, they're native to the African savanna. But enough jargon for now. Let's dive into the story of this wonderful colony, Venatrix and the Duskwalkers. The queen laid eggs right away. Actually, she didn't, because I made the mistake of giving her too much substrate. I never noticed her having brood and genuinely thought she was infertile until she left a cocoon exposed 2 whole months after being caught. However, I will recreate some of the scenes with some of my newer colonies to maintain loftier consistency of cinematic standards, especially because I hadn't gotten my macro lens at that point either. So let's just start at the beginning one last time. But let's do it differently this time. Her name is Venatrix. She was caught by an ant keeper, me. And she's not the only one. I really wanted to keep her, and she's not the only one. Let's skip forward to the first bit of progress. Here is Venatrix with her egg batch, which arrived only a few days after catching. I also noticed the queen making ant bread mixed from mealworms, seeds, and mosquito larvae. Yucky. Only a day later. On week 2, the queen had already gotten a few larvae, but other than that, not much had happened. On the week after though, there was some activity. The larvae had fully grown, and one of them was being assisted by the queen to start spinning a cocoon already. As you can see, the queen clumped groups of sand crystals together to form coarser substrate that suits her larva more. And boy, was that larva busy at work. At this point, we were extremely close to getting the first set of cocoons, and trust me, these Ponerine cocoons will look insanely good. Jump over to next week, and we already have 2 cocoons. Now you might be thinking, why are they progressing so slowly? And you'd be right. I'm not sure why, but I did notice that this species systematically eats their brood for the duration I've kept them, despite regularly being fed a healthy assortment of proteins, seeds, and honey. While I still hadn't figured out why she's doing this, although likely to stress, I was still really happy she was making good progress. This was all for this week though. I was getting really excited to see the workers. At this point, I was checking on her daily, hoping to catch the worker as it closes, or right after that. And oh boy, it was all worth it. I witnessed the first worker with its majestic golden color right after closing. And indeed, it was a sight to behold. At this point, I was already dreaming of the empire Venatrix and the Duskwalkers will be building in the future. On week 6, they got their second and third workers. As for the final update of this video, I'll actually skip to the 10th week or so. Well, they had a few workers now. While there will be upcoming chapters we will unfold of this epic story, this is where this chapter ends. But I'll still add a few clips for those who haven't had quite enough of these cute little critters. I really recommend sticking around for this part, as the quality will ramp up since most of the upcoming clips are shot through a glass tube. See you on the other side.